Hey, it's Shapes, and welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. We're finishing P today. It's a big day. Oh, man. Oppa! Not you. Not you! Cool, made it just in time. Shit. Good to see you, Marvelous Jack. And you too, Weird Proc. Man, it's the vibe. I'm excited. We got 50 entries to do for P. The idea here is to finish P, and if we don't, then on Friday we'll finish it, and then we'll do Q as well. I'm thinking for Friday as well, we'll just kind of marathon a couple of their articles, and we'll also do Q. Depending on how long Q takes, and then I'll do a couple of, like, that'll probably be what we do. I'm gonna write that down. That's a good idea. You had longer hair than the last time I saw you. Deciding to grow it out? I guess. It's more of just, not cutting it. I guess. People keep asking me about it, and you know, I became satisfied with the length like a couple months ago at this point, and then I just never really cut it. So now it's getting even longer, I suppose. I don't know if I've ever had it this long necessarily. I like it. Although I'm getting it cut, like, think in like 2 weeks or something, and you know, they're not gonna take much of the length. I just want them to like even it out and get this out of my face. Know what I mean? Is the idea. Hello. Think it suits you. Yeah, I think so too. At the moment. I also like short hair. Don't get me wrong. I like both. But I think I'm going to rock it for camp, or for the summer. I think I'm gonna kind of go through it the whole summer, and then September we'll probably new arc and like really get it short. I don't know. Perhaps. We'll see. Just for the heck of it. Character change. I don't know. I'm glad I could be here normally. I would be in a DSP detractor stream, but oddly you stream when those guys are on break. Oh yeah, deadass. Well, let's get it then. Let's get this shit. Let's hold up. Top of the morning. Let me know if the volume is okay on everything. Yeah, I haven't been using Cold Steel in a while. Just finished watching the 20th episode of Princess 9. Oh yeah, so you're almost done. I'm not familiar with it. Is it like a manga? Is it a? I'm just not familiar with it. And is it like a full adaptation? What's its deal? You know, what's its sitch? Yeah, something like that. Okay, we're here. Princess 9. I'll read this one out loud because, relatively well-known title, I guess. Can't wait to see what they say about it. Then I'll definitely read it. Girls don't play baseball. They play softball. But 15-year-old Ryo Hayakawa is a natural ace pitcher, just about to finish junior high and leave so she can help her with her widowed mother with the family noodle bar. Instead, Mrs. Himuro, chairperson of the prestigious Kisaragi High School, persuades Ryo to continue her education by handing her a scholarship. Keiko Himuro plans to take on the male-dominated hard sports with an all-girl team, deliberately designed to irritate the snooty and chauvinistic male teachers and staff who think that a girl's education should only aspire to motherhood and housewifery. But sporty girls are competitive by nature, and Ryo is soon butting heads with Izumi Himuro, the prideful, overly competitive daughter of the chairwoman and the school's tennis champion. Despite her initial opposition, Izumi eventually joins the team, adding much-needed batting power. Rivalries soon break out on and off the field, as the girls fight over token boy Hiroki, and corporate sponsorship comes attached to corporate scandal. This typical baseball anime, in the fashion of H2, was dumped onto satellite TV in the impecunious. What does that mean? Having little or no money, penniless, poor, impoverished, indignant, insolvent, poverty-stricken, was dumped onto satellite TV in the impecunious late 90s as the post-Evangelion anime TV boom turned into a slump. Okay. Why do you have to bring that up? What's the point of bringing that up? Who cares? Are you making some commentary on its success or something? Like, we can probably figure it out that Princess 9 aired in 1998. 1998's a great year for anime. 1998 is considered one of the best years of anime, actually. Let me just look at my Mao, my Kitsuka. I said Mao, even though I don't really use it. It's like Googling. It's like Mao's like the equivalent to Google. The stuff that I've seen from 98. Satanica, which is like a Rintaro pilot short thing. I think it was Rintaro, yeah. Outlaw Star, Perfect Blue, Neoranga. Let's just talk about TV, because they're talking about like the bulk of TV anime or whatever. So we're just talking about TV. Outlaw Star, Neoranga, Cardcaptor Sakura, Trigun, Initial D First Stage, Cowboy Bebop, Serial Experiments Lane, His and Her Circumstances. Those are the titles I've seen. I've seen from 1998. What the hell? Let me see the stuff on my plan to watch. It's not. I'm not gonna go on Mal's whole chart, but let me see. Brain powered. Although people, I was like, yeah, what a joke. Or I've seen people like brain powered a lot actually. So, Master Keaton, Gasaraki. I don't actually did too much other than that, I guess. But I mean, come on, man. I don't even have Princess 9 on my plan to watch. I do. I'm interested in it, and I have intending about it, but yeah. It's an original. Then a manga soon after. Oh, okay. Oh, hi. Good to see you, Annalisa. I just say that every time. That's just how I word it. Every time. Your Gurren Lagann video definitely deserves more views, I suppose. 100,000 isn't bad for a channel with 19K, but that was probably the best edited video I've seen from that entire year. Thank you. That's like almost all I worked on for 6 months. And, I was lucky with the pandemic. I was able to work on just that and still be secure with food and everything. So I'll probably never be able to make something like that again, of that breadth, and I'm happy it got 100K. That's all I care about. But yeah, is what it is. Is there a slight misogyny tinge in that tone, in this tone, or is it just dismissiveness for its trivia dispersal? I think it's trying to say from the perspective of the synopsis. I haven't seen Princess 9, but I imagine there is some antagonistic forces that are chauvinistic and like the perspective of the male characters, or maybe that is inserted from their opinion of like, oh, that's probably what the show is about. Weird Prog, you're watching it right now, so is that the case? Do you think they kind of talked about it in an adequate fashion? I haven't read the rest of the chat, so. Late 90s anime is such a good time. Bebop, Lane, Sakura, Trigun. I should watch even more Shape stuff, even as AMV is a time. Thank you. I agree. Was that before or after the bubble? I don't know about bubble. In terms of anime production, the real crash, the really significant crash that I know of for anime is like 89 through 94. is like a really dry spot. And then Ava just completely kicked it up another notch. But I could be wrong about that. Is that before or after the bubble? Also, damn, that year was a stacked year. I gave Princess 9 about 7.5. I recommend it. Not amazing, definitely better than average. I don't know, the Naruto vids turned out pretty well. They did, but they took me way too long to make. I sat on that script for so long. I kept adding to it. I you know, had people read the script before I made it. I'm like, I don't need to do. I've never had to do that for my other videos. Why? I was just kind of delaying it, and then I just got really overwhelmed with the amount of content being, to sift through and everything. It was a really hard series of videos to make, but thankfully the third one clicked so easily and quickly. It stays positive in my mind, the whole project. Thankfully, it kind of ended on that really great note, so I feel very good about that project. Only thing I don't feel good about is how they've been received view-wise. Not great. And two of them are now partially blocked in Russia because of the music I use. And then the Naruto video, literally just yesterday, I believe, yesterday, the day before, it's blocked everywhere except the US and Canada, and maybe a few other countries. But it got partially blocked like in a lot of places because they detected 3 video clips, and I don't really want to dispute any of them because I get it. I mean, I just didn't want to. The views weren't even that like, if it was Gurren Lagann, I would have fought for it, which I did. That had happened to Gurren Lagann, and I fought it. But I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna probably compile the 3 of them into one big video and release that sometime later. The guys on the school board are misogynistic. They are doing inaccurate stuff. Cool. Rough, but I still greatly appreciate the effort. The algorithm's a nightmare. Yeah, Algo can go fuck himself. I don't really care about Algo. What's really important, because if I'm gonna please Algo and it doesn't work, then I made the video for absolutely nothing, and it's a complete waste of time. But the videos that I make, that I am proud of, that I'm always proud of them, and it's always what I want to make. So even if Algo doesn't like it, I liked it, and I know a lot of people who watched them liked it. The fucking Naruto video, the third one, had a 99% like ratio, which is really impressive. I think personally, at least. But let's see about this next one. I don't know if it. Let's see if it reaches 90. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on. I'd say that the comment about the time slot was really weird. I don't know why they have to bring that up. And it's not. They only say it's typical. I don't really think it's worth putting in dismissive just for that. Was dumped onto satellite TV in the impecunious late 90s as the post-Ava anime TV boom turned into a slump. If it came out in 99, I would agree with them, but I think it's too early to say that. Also want to make sure I write down impecunious as a new vocab word. Sheesh. I gotta put it over here. There we go. No, I'm also going to make sure I write this down. Okay. Princess. from 2006. Oh, I just realized Princess Nine's from the book. I have to check that. Dummy! Oh, they added a lot more synopsis, actually. Thank goodness I checked. They added way more synopsis. Let me see. Girls don't play baseball, they play softball. Tumblers at a noodle bar instead. Oh, wait a minute. It's a different synopsis. I'm pretty sure this is a different synopsis. Here's the first edition. Girls don't play baseball, they play softball. But tomboyish Ryo Hayakawa convinces the chairman of the Himuro Corporation to sponsor her baseball team and then talks schoolgirl tennis champion Izumi into changing sports. Rivalries soon break out on and off the field as the girls fight over Token Boy and corporate over Token Boy Hiroki and corporate sponsorship comes attached to the corporate scandal. This typical baseball anime in the fashion of H2 was dumped onto satellite TV in the impecunious late 90s as the post-Evangelion TV boom turned into a slump. That's a different synopsis. They actually fixed the synopsis for Princess Nine, which is huge because there's several other synopses that they did not fix. Almost wholly revised synopsis. Because the again, third edition, girls don't play baseball, they play softball, but 15-year-old Ryo Hayakawa is a natural ace pitcher, just about to finish her junior high and leave so she can help her widowed mother with the family noodle bar. Instead, Mrs. Himuro, chairperson of this prestigious high school, persuades Ryo to continue her education by handing her a scholarship. It's reversed. It's reversed. So the first book said, tomboyish Ryo Hayakawa convinces the chairman of the Himuro Corporation to sponsor her baseball team, and then talks schoolgirl tennis champion Izumi into changing sports. And then the third edition, Himuro, chairperson of the high school, persuades Ryo to continue her education by handing her a scholarship. Keiko Himuro plans to take on the male-dominated hard sports with an all-girl team deliberately designed to irritate the snooty and chauvinistic male teachers and staff who think that the girls' education should only aspire to motherhood and housewifery, but sporty girls are competitive by nature, and Ryo is soon butting heads with Izumi Himuro, the prideful, overly competitive daughter of the chairwoman and the school's tennis champion. Despite her initial opposition, Izumi eventually joins the team, adding much-needed batting power. And so the first edition is saying that Ryo talks schoolgirl tennis champion Izumi into changing sports. First edition's completely wrong. Yeah, it's completely wrong. And somebody, either they watched it after the fact, or somebody emailed them and told them, and they fixed it. The chairman lady wants the baseball team, not the tomboy girl. Yeah, that's huge. Almost wholly revised synopsis, correcting the premise. First edition was wrong. Yeah. And then they did fix it pretty much. Almost wholly revised synopsis. Yeah. See, it's possible. It's completely possible that they, and it makes the other entries that don't get corrected being like, what the fuck? What happened? I have a suspicion. This is not exactly a strong idea theory. It's like the dumb thing. Like, wouldn't it be funny if they intentionally didn't change the synopses to these most popular titles because so many people told them they were wrong in such a rude way that they didn't change them out of spite? And yeah, it's stupid to think that. There's no way they did that. But it really makes me wonder that they had somebody told them, or they realized that they were wrong about Princess Nine, but they weren't told, or else didn't bother to check about One Piece or Dragon Ball or Pokemon. You know, that's really weird to me. Good thing they caught it in the 3rd edition. No, it's a great change, but it really makes you think. That might be plausible to character, but whatever. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to like assume that of them. I'm not trying to degrade. This isn't about degrading their character, but it is just trying to understand how that could happen. If they got it how? Don't know the chat receipts. Okay, we're moving on to Princess. Sorry, this is from 2006, so no book. Toru is a very. I don't have to read all of it. I spent like 20 minutes on Princess 9. Sorry, not a good sign, fellas. They added a no, really, to the synopsis of this show. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I'm not. Toru is a very pretty teenager who transfers to an all-boys school with an unusual social setup. The cutest new boys are nominated by their classmates to become a part of the princess system, dressing up as gothic Lolita girls at social events to lighten up the atmosphere. Parentheses, no, really. Like, you've been describing a lot more bizarre stuff than that in this book. And that's what's gonna trip you up? At first unconvinced and reluctant, Toru soon comes to realize that being a princess isn't only about having to wear one rigid type of clothing and get hit on by other guys. Well, okay, it is, but he rather likes it. This anime is based on Mikio Tsuda's 2002 manga. Exploits the humor rather than the sexual angle. There's nothing explicit and nothing very deep, though there are some nice character touches as Toru and the other princesses debate their relationships with girls and each other, and the role of clothing and presentation in sexuality. Loli guys will love it. Okay. Well, they didn't give an opinion about it. They only say that there's nothing explicit and nothing very deep. So they really don't, Alright. It's just a bit of a veneer, right? They don't say anything explicit, but there's certain little things like the no, really. And ending the article on lowly guys will love it. That kind of just gets it like a, It's like, yeah, okay, so what? Let them. Whatever. Like this judgment, right? And ending it. Very passive-aggressive judgment. Despite not giving any outright opinions. That might be plot. Don't know. That is weird. Just get to Princess Tutu before I head out. Okay. Wouldn't be weirder than any other host club. Had to sneak that in. The characters don't look very lolly. Yo, good to see you, Glowworm. I haven't looked into it, but I gotta move on. Rest. Resurrection. From 2007. Okay, they do give some opinion. The overarching plot is often treated as an afterthought, while the animation doesn't live up to Madhouse's usual standards, let alone their best efforts. And they don't give any positive opinions either, so I'm going to give that a negative. Even though they don't sound outright, as their usual negative selves. Princess Rouge from 1997. I got it here. Okay. It's like an OVA that didn't get made fully. Like they planned 6 episodes and only 2 got made. Alright. Just checking the 3rd edition. And they do make an oh my goddess comparison, which seems right. Seems fine enough. From 2008, Princess Slave. In the end, so they spoil this porn. Great. I just want to make a point of it. No. And there we have it. Perfect timing, almost. Princess Tutu. And the manga is shoujo according to Mal. Oh. This anime was pretty good. Unfortunately, it has a blue ball ending that doesn't really resolve much. Oh. Just joined. Sad to see them dunking on Princess 9. I've not seen it, but it's Tomomi Mochizuki, so I heavily doubt the typical baseball anime part. Yo, Shaves, I recently bought a stack of old anime magazines. What are the odds? I found one that has an ad for the Anime Encyclopedia 3rd edition with an interview from the authors. That's great. I'd be very interested in seeing it. I'd be very interested in seeing that. I do have their, the whole thing that started this project was me listening to their interview with Zach Berchi on Ancast, which is a whole hour and a half of them talking about it. And I've not listened to that podcast since starting this project, over close to 2 years ago now. So I'm very excited. I might even listen to it on stream. And then be my first time listening to it after having read the whole thing. I think that'd be interesting. Just recently checked out the first 3 episodes of Princess Tutu. I'm enjoying it so far. You're in for a good one. You're in for a very good one. Let's read it out loud, and let's hope they don't spoil anything. And I'll make sure not to. I'll make sure not to spoil anything. Yeah, I'll be careful. Gangly, clumsy but determined, Ahiru, whose name is Japanese for duck, studies ballet at King Khan Academy, a duckling training to become a swan, just in case that wasn't obvious. She adores Muto, the school's star male dancer, from afar, but he's so remote and passive that he hardly seems to notice anything. His sinister friend Fakir protects and bullies him in equal measure, and elegant, self-centered Rue, the school's star ballerina, wants him for herself. This fairy tale, redolent of tales of Hans Christian Andersen, is also a magical girl story. A high school romance in which the clumsiest but most determined and kind-hearted girl in the class struggles to win the school hunk. A drama fable along the lines of Mask of Glass, featuring much music from famous ballets. And the tale of a hero's fight against the forces of darkness seen through the eyes of the princess. The characters inhabit a reality not dissimilar to that of Ranma 1/2, in which an ordinary town can be populated with animal-human hybrids subject to strange enchantments. Could you... I think that I'm at the end of a paragraph, so I'm sure they're going to stop. But, like, you really just rattled off a ton of comparisons that, like, don't give you a good impression of this show at all. Ranma 1/2? Fucking seriously? Because of the animals? Yeah, that's the first thing I think of when I'm watching Princess Tutu and I see the armadillo, the anteater character. Oh, it's just like Ranma 1/2. Am I whack? Is that weird to you as well? Which podcast? Oh, Ancast. ANNcast. I forget which episode it is, but if you look up Ancast Anime Encyclopedia, you'll probably find it. It's them promoting the 3rd edition. Juju's my favorite Russian ballet. Shout out to Nana Mizuki voicing Kreihi. Yeah. Huh? I love Rama and Tutu, so the logic checks out. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Not even the water transformation deal. That comparison makes no sense. Yeah. I'm not buying it either. I also don't really like that it's a fairy tale. It's also a magical girl story. It's also a high school romance. I guess. All right, and like Mask of Glass too. It's like, God. All right, let's just keep reading. The reason is supposedly rooted in an ancient fairy tale, in which a handsome noble prince fought an evil raven. This is how you should have started the fucking synopsis, by the way. If you want to get a picture of what the show is, you want to take it from the fairy tale angle. Supposedly rooted in an ancient fairy... Like, what do you mean supposedly? Are you to be like, I'm not familiar with this fairy tale. Oh, let's see what this has to say. Like, can't you just fucking accept that it's fiction, and they can make a fictional fairy tale, like they can create it for the sake of the story? How hard is that? Is that really that hard to accept? Like, oh, this isn't like Cinderella or what is it? I'm not familiar with it. Like, are you really like seething over not being able to fucking TV tropes this shit? Because you can't find it. Oh, what fairy tale is this? Supposedly rooted in an ancient fairy tale. Come on, guys. If it was written 6 years later, they'd call it a deconstruction. Oh, I don't know if they would actually. Let me Control F of what they've said about deconstruction. I think they have kind of said that Ava was a deconstruction, but I could be wrong about that. So zero results in the book. In the third edition, they do not say the word or deconstruction a single time. Big note. Very interesting. Mukashi. Yeah. In which a handsome noble prince fought an evil raven. The storyteller died before the story could be finished, and determined to fulfill their destinies despite the death of their creator, the prince and the bird escaped from the story. In our own world, the prince sacrificed his heart to steal the raven's powers away and protect the world from her malice. But since a story demands an ending, a duck is magically transformed into a human girl. With help and advice from mechanical doll musician Edel, Ahiru can use a magic pendant to transform herself into Princess Tutu. This is really botching the synopsis, I'm not gonna lie. This makes it sound so unappealing. Or just like, yeah, okay. Like, what do you... It's just so clumsy. I don't know what you guys think. When she has retrieved every piece of the princess' lost heart, he will be free. But the Raven Princess is also free and determined to fight the Swan Princess. And Ahiru has a hitherto unsuspected handicap. She transforms back into her duck self whenever she quacks, and she quacks when she's startled. It takes a splash of water to get her back to normal. She also, I think it's not just quacking, but it's any mannerism of her being a duck. The charm of Princess Tutu is its attempt to subvert the formulae of its genres, such as allowing the princess to save the hero. The sensual yearning at the heart of all school romances mixes with the fear of the adult world, in which everything is unfamiliar and safety nets are few. But stronger than the powerful mix of fear and sex is a passion for stories and storytelling, for the magic of making a new world. Borrowing from European folklore already familiar to many Japanese through earlier anime, it deftly creates an internal reality where perception is just a medium for filtering dreams to find the one your heart holds dearest. Writer Kanaka brings in a mechanical being wiser and more reliable than most organic ones, just as he did in Armitage III and Malice Doll, and keeps the story closer to the terrifying undercurrents of Swan Lake than the Sugar Plum fairy tale of the Nutcracker. There's a wonderful little echo of Little Mermaid each time Tutu gives the prince back a piece of his heart. With each piece he gains the power to express new emotions and ideas, but not always pleasant ones. The things she unleashes in him often tear at her own heart and like knives. The series is divided into two parts. The first 13 half-hour episodes, known as the Egg Chapter, and the following 26 15-minute episodes, shown two at a time, known as the Chick Chapter. Which I think it was nice of them to mention the kind of unusual release format, because people would always kind of be... They would always be weirded of, like, why does it say that Princess Tutu is 38 episodes, and then you look at the episodes, the amount of episodes that most people, that it's released on physical, and that most people watch it as, is 26 episodes. And that's because it very easily can stitch the 15-minute parts back together, because you take out the OP and ED each time, and there's 13-minute halves, and it can make one episode. So it's usually released as 26 episodes. I don't even know if this version of 26 15-minute episodes even exists anymore. Like, if you could watch it, or if this was like, if it was only in broadcast version, or if this has ever been released on physical, I don't know. But it is weird that they've kept it as if like that's how it is consistently the whole time, because it sounds like they've watched it. I know TV Tropes put Tutu under deconstruction. I can't find a download or scan of it, but the magazine was NEO, UK Space C, in issue 136. It also has an article on Miss Hokusai. Cool. No, she flaps her arms and doesn't turn back. Seems to be mostly quiet. Okay, that's fair. I thought I feel like I remembered a scene where she like, yeah, like flops or something like that. But if it's quack, then yeah, it's fine. That's the safety word. I actually didn't know that. Oh, nice on Hokusai. Yeah. I didn't really. I was pretty disappointed in that article, to be honest. But okay. That's a lot of princesses. That is the last princess, by the way. This was the Princess Tutu was the last princess article. And it doesn't credit Sato at all, but credits Chiaki Kanaka, who I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't realize was involved in this show. I don't know why I didn't, but it's just you don't hear his name come up as often, I think. He wrote 4 episodes. And the series composition is actually Michiko Yokote. The series composition and the one who wrote episodes 1, 2, 3, 7, 12, 14, 17, and 26, kind of the core episodes actually. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then Mamiko Ikeda wrote another 8 episodes. Rika Nakase did 4. Takuya Sato did 2. And you know what really reminds me about Michiko Yokote? Michiko Yokote happens to be... I have to make sure I yes. the series comp and most of Onimai, which I happen to bring up in my upcoming video. But she's not a lot. Oh my gosh. And I'd have to look through all of these of like how many of these are original projects, right? Because Princess Tutu is, to my knowledge, is an original anime. Oh, she did Cute High Earth Defense Club. Let's fucking go. 8 episodes of Cowboy Bebop, including episode 5. Oh my gosh. Let's fucking go. Series comp for Kabato. Wow, a couple of Pat Labor. Just general script for season 3 through 7 of Ranma. That's actually a deft comparison there. There's an actual connection. Wow. Series comp for Squid Girl. 8 out of 12 episodes, I think. I think Squid Girl's 12, right? Sheesh. Isn't that just interesting? Only name credited. And he only wrote 4 episodes. Michiko Yokote wrote 8 and is series comp. Hello to all. Good to see you, Greg. Yeah, the good stuff. She wrote my favorite Bebop episodes. That's how I learned her first. I think she's original creator of Mermaid Melody. Nice. Oh, awesome. Yeah. I'll put that, but I also want to mention also, I don't think they actually have that correct. I read that. I'm reading that again. Can be populated with animal-human hybrids subject to strange enchantments. So they're comparing how Rama's dad turns into a panda, and the guy turns into a... I haven't seen Rama, but like the pig and whatever. I think the shampoo, I think, has a similar ailment, and she turns into like a puppy or something. Like a little poodle. I don't know. Or cat. Is it a cat? I don't know. And it's true with Duck. That is definitely true with Ahiru, of turning into a duck whenever, and then the water and everything. That is very Ranma-esque. But to my knowledge, the other animal characters are never, like, under a curse or something. Like, that's just who they are. That's just a crocodile. You know? And it's also, it's not quite the same thing, because, oh, it's a human turning into an animal. No, this is an animal turning into a human, actually. And that's such a core part of her psyche. That's just like, I'm a duck. I am useless. I am, like, nothing. I may as well be that speck of light that I'm, you know, there's a potential that I get turned into if I confess my love, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's a core part of her psyche. And so kind of turn it, like, assume, and it's like, oh, it's like Ranma 1/2. The girl turns into a duck. No. There's a very different dynamic there. Oh, it's the same thing. No. Nope. Mouse changes into a duck. Moose. Okay. Did she also do Macros Plus, or am I thinking the other woman writer? Keiko Nobumoto? Probably. Let me see if she's listed on Macros Plus. I don't see Michiko Yokote on Macros Plus, at least in the credits. And she's I also just saw, just looking, Mermaid Melody. She's only credited as scenario, which is pretty significant. That is a pretty significant credit. Actually, there's no series composition listed for Mermaid Melody. It is just director and then scenario. So, yeah, it's a pretty significant role, all things considered. Even though she didn't explicitly write any scripts for this show. Interestingly enough. Anyway, yeah. The reason is supposedly rooted in an ancient fairy tale. Maybe they're using supposedly in the context of the show. And I'm probably being a little overly harsh about their 2-2 article because it's one of my favorite shows. Used to be in my top 10. and then Ojima Doremi took the spot. This is from 2007, Prism Arc. I might be splitting hairs here, but like, could you bother to name the director? They say this conventional fantasy high school hybrid isn't necessarily what one would expect from the director of Virus Buster Surge, parentheses, who also directed the 2010 video Prism Magical Prism Generations. I think it's just I think that reason, it's just a way for them to link some anime to this one, and but it's, I just scrolled to look who the director is. It's Masami Obari. You couldn't say from Masami Obari and then like parentheses the show? Like, it's just so weird to me. I'm gonna write that down because it's sort of like, what, there's very little reason you had to frame it like that. Rip Tutu, but at least it's by the same character designs. By the same character designs? I don't know what you mean. Oh, okay. Oh, I know what you, in terms of it leaving my top 10. Yeah. Were those in Mikoshi? Wait a minute. I guess they were. Wait a minute. I guess they, when I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I guess they were, but wait a minute. I actually don't, for some reason that just doesn't, I have to check that. For some reason, I have to check that. Nope. It's actually the creator. It's not Mukoshi. It's not Umukoshi Designs. It is Ikuko Ito, who is the chief animation director as well as the creator. She's actually credited as the creator of Princess Tutu. And it's a shame they didn't bring her up either, considering she's the creator. I want to see what else she did. Yeah, she's a Toei. She, oh yeah, character designer for Sailor Moon, Mahotsukai Tai. But not Ojima Doremi. I just checked. Ha 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 ha. I was like, oh, please don't tell me. Oh, please don't tell me, you know? I would have, but no, it's, frequent collaborator with Sato. Or at least it seems that way. Yeah. That probably would have been a better person to mention. I know it's not a big name, like Kanaka, but if it was Miyazaki, they would have said the name. Maybe. Easy hyperlinked, but not name dropping for extra cred. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, you could have put in parentheses something else he directed. That would have been fine. I understand why they did that, but they didn't mention. I have to, like, and it's not a big deal, but it's sort of like, you're not putting the name out there. Why? Especially because it's not even that obscure of a name. It's Masami Obari. He's not an obscure director or or just anime industry person. It's like those weirdo reposters who deliberately remove signatures and watermarks. Yeah. I'm terrible at remembering stuff. Yeah, it's okay. Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. I had to check it. I was like, I don't think so. Oh, wait a minute. But I could see it. It's not a bad. It wasn't a bad call. Okay, Prism season. It's from 1989, so there was a yes. The same illustrator's distinctive pastels, Victorian-style fairies, and falling flowers could also be seen in later follow-ups, 1994 Japanese-style adaptations of Thumbelina, Mime Ogawa's children's book, The Coloring Magician, and Mermaids and the Red Candle. Though as a combination of still pictures and narration, none of them is technically anime. Narration? Hold on. Are they videos? I'll pass. I'll pass on looking into that. But this does sound very pretty. In a gentle adaptation of Megumi Nagata's book, Flower Waltz for the Moon, a girl grows up, falls in love, and becomes a mother, realizing that her childhood is now forever behind her. The same illustrator's distinctive pastels, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, nothing changed, but I actually am now interested in that title. Prism. Season. Okay. Prison Battleship from 2009. Oh. Gotcha. It's boring, but yeah, okay. Private Psycho Lesson. Oh boy, can't wait to read about that. 1996, I have to read it twice. Great. No, they do say certain things is particularly offensive. A punishment for bad Japanese girls dealt out by foreign men is particularly offensive. Yeah, I'll give it a net. I'll make sure they say that was a negative. Okay. Now checking the first edition. No change. I'm gonna be going through a lot of this, aren't I? 2001. And there's no art. There's no board, so that's fine. Hello, hello. I fell asleep and just woke up. Okay, well, hopefully the day's good. Other than that, yeah, none of that was a bad thing. And sleep's nice, but I can understand where it's like, oh, the day's gone. You know, it's already like 6. You know, but I hope you're doing it. I hope you're feeling good. Oh. Another porn. I guess I would prefer. I guess I prefer reading about it than watching it, at least. Great. All right, moving on. Pro golfer Saru from 1982. The TV special, and a TV series and a movie. So this is by the author of this is the Moto Abiko, who would go on to do Laughing Salesman. He's like the one half of Fujiko Fujio. And he split in the he split from his working partner in the 80s. And Prograph of Saru is his longest and most successful creation. Fantastical tournaments, absurd special powers, and the simian Saru remained determined to triumph. Holy shit. Amid Kung Fu masters, dragon warriors, and fairway fairies, his opponents include Death himself. Holy shit. Puss in Boots' Last Wish reference? Sorry, that's spoilers of sorts. Like, you had to have watched Puss in Boots by now, guys. Come on. They don't actually be dismissive about it. They kind of just describe it, and that's fine. I honestly think this is an interesting, good article. There's none of their snark. Interesting, and like learning a little bit of the background with the Saru. Pro golfer Saru, not Aru. Informative. No snark about it being sports. Good. Good. I'm actually curious about golf anime. They're hard to find. Yeah, I get that. I mean, we have one airing right now, so. That's right, I haven't watched Birdie Wing yet. I don't even plan on watching the first Puss in Boots. Neither am I. Seems okay. Saru's a Nishimura adaptation, isn't it? Nishimura? Junji Nishimura, yeah. At least I'm sure that's who you're referring to. What's he done? So they link to the special, and then there's the TV series. Yeah, so Junji Nishimura is the director. And, oops. Wait a minute. Is this the, is this Oshi's compatriot? Is it Fire Hunter the one I'm thinking of? But is he the director of Windy Tales? Yes, I was right. Let's fucking go. As well as Vladlov. Right. Okay, cool. Interesting. Also, director of the specials and the movie. I've heard incredibly good things about the You're Under Arrest movie specifically. This guy's Simone too. Samurai Deeper Kyo. Generally, Ranma 1/2? Is he the only? Wait a minute. Really? Okay, Mochizuki's. Yeah, I've heard of Mochizuki. Wait a minute. I've heard of Mochizuki. Wait a minute. Isn't that? Wait a minute. Princess 9. Pupa. Hold on, I've seen this guy. I've perused this man's Ocean Waves. I've perused this man's thing before. Hold on. Is it Kimiguri? Yes, the movie specifically. Yeah, I've heard of this. I know this guy. Yeah, okay. House of Five Leaves. Wow. Here's Greenwood. Dirty Pair Flash. Battery. But then Junji Nishimura, there was kind of a series of directors. I'm sure there's a whole thorny situation about that. Not thorny, but like whole mess. Wow. Cool. Yeah, it's a Nishimura joint. Oh, this is one of the series I want to check out but haven't found yet. Oh, yeah, because it's not subbed. Yeah. Not surprised. Production IG. But first I have to check the first edition. No, I don't think there's any change. Production IG. I'll read this one out loud. Formed in 1987 by Mitsuhisa Ishikawa and Takayuki Goto as an offshoot of Tatsunoko Productions, the company was first known by a name that combined its founder's initials, IG Tatsunoko. Its first major role was as a production house on the first Patlabor movie. The authors speculate that had the movie been a failure, the existence of a separate company would have shielded the parent from liability. Renamed Production IG, it was subsequently merged with ING, another of Ishikawa's companies, to form the entity as it's known today, with credits ranging from Ghost in the Shell to Blood the Last Vampire, and a prominent position as a subcontractor on Ghibli's Princess Mononoke. Notable staffers include Ishikawa himself, Hiroyuki Kitakubo, Toshihiro Kawamoto, and the computer animator Norifumi Kiyozumi. Production IG has benefited greatly from its association with director Mamoru Oshii and also from its high profile in the Western fan community, bolstered by a U.S. office. The company is a major player in digital animation and pioneered screen architecture, that is, the pre-visualizing of effects that will be applied to a scene, allowing animators to get a better idea of how their work will look when it is finally composited with multiple effects and filters. Production IG has also created the anime sequence of Kill Bill: The Origin of O-Ren and Last Orders, a superb one-minute pastiche of Madhouse Studios' future dystopias as an animated commercial for Murphy's Stout. In the UK production, IG's advertising work, I think they missed a in the UK. Production IG's advertising work for other companies includes commercials for Kirin Lemon, T-Mobile, and Samsung. The animation studio Zepic is a subsidiary of the company, while IG merged in 2007 with the manga publishing company Mag Garden, placing both firms subordinate to a newly created holding company, IG Port. IG Port, in turn, has a 70% stake in Wit Studio, formed in 2012 and best known for Attack on Titan. Yeah, that's a good synopsis. I think Birdie Wing and Dando are the only golf anime sub, possibly, unless I check. Did the Gainax golf anime get subbed? Golf Gynex anime. Beat Shot. Yeah, Beat Shot is linked to in the article of Progar for Saru. It's from 1989. The alternative title, prevalent in many online listings, is from an illegal bootleg edition and not sanctioned by anyone, ever. Yeah, apparently the localization of this was at one for a bootleg. It's not really a localization. It's some bootlegs called it "Watch Me Sink My Putts." Ugh. Yeah, it's 1980s erotica. It's not really about golf. It has golf. That's Zepic's history, huh? Pretty much, I guess. Didn't know about that. Yeah, okay. Now we're on Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva. Who cares? Who cares that it goes off the line? I respect it. Puzzle expert. Yeah, that name. Yeah. Puzzle expert, Professor Herschel Layton. I don't know why I'm reading this out loud. Aww. The animation and design stick closely to the pattern of the games, as does the plot-driven style of storytelling and the richly detailed score with its operatic inserts. However, playing like a respray of Castle of Cagliostro, made by a gaming company, which is effectively what it is, Professor Layton disappoints at the level of puzzle making. Okay. Most of Layton's obstacles are far too complex for anyone to do more than simply sit passively and wait for him to succeed. Most of Layton's obstacles are far too complex for anyone to do more than simply sit passively and wait for him to succeed. In other words, this film simply replicates the experience of watching someone else play the game, which is hardly fun. Lets you know their stake on Let's Plays, huh? Or esports. Interesting. Despite this cavil, the production team pile on some nice touches, including the leitmotifs redolent of both the James Bond movies and the musical Phantom of the Opera. Some elements do not ring true, however. As with many Tezuka productions from Astro Boy onward, the pathos and bathos of life-threatening situations is often dispelled or ruined by the sight of overly cartoonish characters, as if a bunch of Warner Brothers icons were forced to face the perils of Gantz. What the fuck? I don't know if they wanted me to laugh at that. That's really disrespectful. What the fuck? I guess it's not the worst thing. They've said more offensive shit, I guess, but... Layton himself comes across as a cantankerous bore, repeatedly asserting that he is an English gentleman even though he wears his hat indoors and talks at the opera. Are they really one-upping this fucking dude? I'm more British than you. They're like, yeah, says the guy. You're right. Wow. Fucking wow. Skill issue. I gotta say, they always manage to top themselves in terms of weird comparisons. It's somewhat impressive to me. Gantz again. Ruined? Are you kidding? Just because they look cartoony? I don't know. And apparently they just have some fucking contempt because it's trying to be British. And they're like, yeah, says even though he wears his hat indoors and talks at the opera. Yeah, all right. Sure. God, I didn't expect him to be so overly savage about the Professor Layton movie. Of all things. Of all things. That. Unreal. Okay, I'm gonna say that was negative. Kind of doesn't really matter all the stuff that they say about it. They really laid in. Just the movie, because there's since been a TV series, but yeah. Respray of Cagliostro disappoints in the level of puzzle making. Threatening situations are often ruined by the sight of overly cartoonish characters. Layton comes across as a cantankerous bore. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. This film simply replicates the experience of watching someone else play the game, which is hardly fun. Do I write just boomer moment? Nice. Not a Let's Play fan, I see. Esports? You know? Anything? Alright. I'm also surprised they would say this about Tezuka Productions, too. From Astro Boy onward. So this is like a dig on like all of his work, too. So I don't know if it... Because it's like... I think maybe Clements wrote it? I'm willing to guess it's one of them because they're, you know, mocking him for being an English gentleman even though he wears his... Which is such a petty fucking comment, I think. So I have a good feeling that it's one of the two of them. And Helen, I think, is the one that wrote the Tezuka bio. So, but maybe she does believe, you know, it's sort of despite this comment. I don't know. From Astro Boy onward, the pathos and bathos of life-threatening situations is often dispelled or ruined by the sight of overly cartoonish characters. As if a bunch of Warner Brothers icons were forced to face the perils of Gantz. It's a joke! Come on! Come on! Good joke. Really good joke. Wow. British moment. Geez, the Tezuka dumping. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. That's so bizarre to me. Because it's like, you could have even made. I still would have written it down of like this weird comparison of like, oh, I'm not invested in them being in life-threatening situations because they look cartoony. But then they have to like dump on Tezuka too, and make this outlandish fucking comparison. Just got here. They're really saying this anime sucks because it looks like Looney Tunes? A little. Some elements do not ring true, however. As with many Tezuka productions from Astro Boy onward, the pathos and bathos of life-threatening situations is often dispelled or ruined by the sight of overly cartoonish characters, as if a bunch of Warner Brothers icons were forced to face the perils of Gantz. Bruh. You know, it's like, is this these the guys we want to be writing an encyclopedia? I don't know. I've made that comment before, and I think it's a little overly mean, I'll admit. But it just makes you think, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like they could get ratioed by, like, so, if any of these sorts of things is something they tweeted, and it just got the right traction and stuff, it would have been ratioed to hell. Like, so much of this. It's just like, huh? You know? But I thought they liked Tezuka. Right, that's my thing. I wonder if it's Clements and not McCarthy. Because I think McCarthy's the one that, like, wrote the whole Tezuka book. So maybe would not have made that comment. Maybe she did. Maybe she does think that. I don't know. Or maybe it's Clements. Or I don't know. I have no idea. I do think it's one of them, though. I do think it's one of the two of them, because they would no one they wouldn't be so petty. I don't know if a contributing writer would have put in, even though he wears his hat indoors and talks at the opera, you know, like criticize, like, you're not really British, you're not really an English gentleman. Like, okay. Oh man, Professor Pain. Another porn. 1998. Though the result is still one of anime's most filthy, degenerate videos. It merely summarizing the plot is pushing the boundaries of decency. Yeah, it's gross. Lowlights include, don't fucking keep describing it. God. This is like I'll write that down in a second. Like, oh, why did they have to keep going and describe more of the fucking things that happen? Oh. Merely summarizing the plot is pushing the boundaries of decency. Lowlights include... Oh, keep going then. Ew. It's so bad. So are they saying this sucks because it doesn't look like a traditional anime? Because they must hate a lot of anime then, which isn't too far off. I think they're just being cynical about it being a fucking video game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh boy, more H anime. You don't have to read the H entries, man. I gotta read the whole book! And I'll be making a point that, like, I had to read the whole book. And that includes all this fucking awful shit. I remember Rags wanted me to see if they covered it, and I was like, yep. Professor Payne sounds like a Kinnikuman character. Yeah, it does. It's really gross, so I should stop. But I'll describe it to you now. No, but like, they finished describing it, and they're like, boy, that's awful, the synopsis. Here's some lowlights. Here's like some of the worst stuff that happened that I didn't include. Shut up! He received his PhD in pain. I could imagine the 4 kids not doing that. Dang, back at it again. Bob, we're doing it. It's the whole book. We're fucking going, man. And I'm happy with the progress I'm making. Because I want to finish this. I want to fucking finish this, dude. So yeah, we're back at it. And boy, we've had some good entries so far. Good entries. It's fucking gross. Did they say anything else crazy before I got here? Their Princess Tutu article was not great. I think it was kind of a clunky synopsis, and the only name that they credit is Chiaki Konaka. They're like, oh, Konaka's script does da-da-da-da-da. Even though he only wrote 4 episodes, and he's not series composition. That's Michiko Yokote, who did series composition, and did 8 of the scripts. And then, even then, there's a creator, who's the character designer and chief animation director. And then you have the director, Shinichi Sato, as well as the other co-director, I'm not familiar with. But it was just so weird that they're gonna... The only person they mention is fucking Konaka. Like, really? Did they say, I've seen Professor Payne. He certainly has a degree. Damn, Bob. Would you say, would you agree with their statement? They said that Professor Payne is still one of anime's most filthily degenerate videos. Do you think they think they're off the mark there? I don't think they are, just from me reading about it. Ugh, let me read the first edition. Wait a minute. It doesn't have it. Nope, it does. It's right here. They moved it. Oh, they moved Program for Saru over here, and they moved Professor Payne up. Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to mention that. Yeah, they no change. Okay. Professor Poppin and the Swamp of No Return. Their Princess 9 synopsis in the first edition got the characters mixed up. They fixed the synopsis and changed it in third. Yep. Funny because I don't think they even mentioned Konaka in the shows he did write. Maybe. Yeah. Far from it. Professor Payne's incredibly tame compared to some other hentai. Really? Well, I guess I don't really have a frame of reference, so... They tend to mix up names a lot. I'm not sure what I want to know more than that. Yeah, same. you could just say, no, it's worse. And that's all you need. That's all I need to know. Well, I think this is one they mixed up with mixed up what character did what. Yeah. Okay, Professor Poppet in the Swamp of No Return. 90-minute movie. Oh. Okay. Guy turns himself into a fish, an insect, and then a fish, and then a kingfisher, and a weasel. Okay. Not much to say about that. Project Echo. Alright. What do you got? Let me read the first edition. That's a long article. Almost takes up the whole page. Like this is all Echo. And a little bit of that. And then there's 2 more articles. And all that. An alien spaceship crashes on Graviton City. Nobody clears it away, people get used to it being there, and gradually the district is rebuilt on an island around the Hulk. Years later, 2 new girls arrive in class, late as they always will be, at the Graviton Institute for Girls. Eiko, Magami, is a normal Japanese schoolgirl hero, apart from super strength and super speed, inherited from super parents, who are only revealed at the end of the film, one of its many in-jokes. She's cheerful, loyal, and always tries her best. Her best friend Seiko Kotobuki is very, very stupid, but also unbelievably cute that she reawakens an intense crush in rich, clever, and beautiful Biko Daitokuji. Biko decides that she'll break up the friendship between Eiko and Seiko, and then Seiko will be her best friend. Starting out looking like just another girl's story, school story in the tradition of Twins at St. Clair's. Okay, I don't know what that is, but all right. Project Echo is actually named after Jackie Chan's Project A, and the inspiration of the master of slapstick of martial arts, Mayhem, is obvious. The film pokes fun at such anime staples as the heroic Captain Harlock, here transformed into a cross-dressing dipsomaniac, and the alien princess love triangle so successful in Urusei Yatsura. Alien princess school love triangle so successful in Urusei Yatsura. Alright, I wouldn't exactly call it that, but okay. As well as throwing in foreign jokes like the rotund American fast food icon Colonel Sanders in a parody of a scene from Harmageddon, depicting a terrifying warrior emerging from a dark alley toward the hero. Kentucky Fried Chicken had just opened its franchise in Japan, and the life-size statue of the Colonel outside every restaurant became a target for comedians for years. See Junk Boy. Seiko isn't what she seems. She is really the princess... It's not that big of a spoiler, really. Seiko isn't what she seems. She is really the princess of a lost alien civilization, and the captain was coming to find her when he accidentally crashed his ship. In the video sequel Project Echo 2, so they didn't give really an opinion about that. They didn't give an opinion there. Just says it pokes fun. It just makes a bunch of... They just kind of point out all the references and stuff. Okay. Project Echo 2, directed by Moriyama from Koyama's script. Biko's millionaire industrialist father, from whom... This is why it's so long. They're just describing every fucking Echo movie. Biko's millionaire industrialist father, from whom she inherited all her least charming characteristics, is plotting to acquire the alien technology for his own ends, but he reckons without his daughter's determination to win Seiko's affection or Eiko's loyalty to her annoying little friend. The pair unite to stop the aliens taking Seiko home. Moriyama also directed the Kawasaki scripted video Project Echo 3, about an unusual love quadrangle forming when Eiko and Biko fall for Kei, who loves Seiko, who can't stand him because he's taking Eiko's attention away from her. The whole thing culminates in a huge party on the crashed battlecruiser, which the captain and his crew have converted into the best disco in town. Opening and closing sequences have stunning artwork by Yasuomi Umezu, and the ending reassures us that men come and go, but friends are always friends. Moriyama and Kawasaki teamed up again for Eiko Final, in which Eiko's matrimonial negotiations with the girl's teacher, Seiko's origins as an alien princess, and the captain's continuing failure to complete his mission culminate in the arrival of Seiko's mother in a spaceship modeled on a George Lucas Star Destroyer. But the world's cutest bubble brain doesn't go home at all, after all, and the video ends as the first movie began, with our heroines late for school again. Final wasn't so final after all. A video two-parter, Echo the Verses, took our heroines into an alternate universe to reprise their story with a new twist and new opponents, but still the same theme: rivalries, friendships, love, and massive rumbles with bigger collateral damage than most medium-sized wars. Nishimura and Moriyama, also known as Cream Lemon's Yuji Moriyama, wrote the story for Project Echo with Kasumi Shirazaka reputably as a pitch for the softcore franchise, mercifully dropped. Allowed to flourish as a comedy instead of erotica, Project Echo throws in parodies and references to just about every area of popular Japanese and American youth culture. Just like its pornographic precursor, Project Echo is cunningly telling the same story with the same ingredients, spinning it just enough to hold the audience's attention. The team added two saving graces: the good comedic timing and a complete failure to comprehend the meaning of the word excess. The whole canon, especially the first film and Cinderella Rhapsody, is still watchable, whether you have seen enough anime to get the in-jokes, or just enjoy comedy that goes completely over the top. Nishijima would reprise the character relationships from the 1990s in the less successful Ancient Aika. Well, that was a dud. That's okay. Well, I guess they liked it. Very begrudgingly, it seems. And they're just, again, like, so suffocated in TV tropes. Like, it's like this, 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 it's like this. It's so much. Like, calm down. Ugh. Project Echo. Still watchable. Still watchable. Spinning just enough to hold audiences' attention. Well, I think this only... I think the first Overture feeds were enough H-anime for me. Did they cover Euphoria? Isn't that anime banned in certain countries? Only reason I know it. No idea. Wouldn't surprise me. I was once looking at the list of banned anime. I think that was on it. This actually would have released around the time the Hanshin Tigers won the championship the last time, before Colonel Sanders cursed them to a losing streak. Yeah, glowing endorsement. Watchable. Let me type in Euphoria and see if they have. Yep! It's the only mention of Euphoria in the entire encyclopedia, and it's E. It's 2011. Oh, yeah, this is gross. Right, I remember reading this. Ah. But has a basic premise curiously close to that of Gantz. Or if you are Hollywood-minded, the Saw movies. Oh boy. Okay, let me read their third edition. I'm skimming it mostly. Nope. No change. What? How? You're better off not knowing. Oh, I thought you were still on ACO. Ah! Sorry about Gantz. Right, no, sorry. I was reading about, Euphoria. Yeah. Ugh. Project Arms from 2001. It is in the book, in the first book. Oh my gosh, that's a 2-core anime. It was airing, they literally had, like, times not determined episodes in the book. And they changed it to 26 episodes. It's not enough to really make a comment about it, but, I guess I will. Whatever. Changed 25-minute X ND to 25-minute 26 eps. But they didn't change anything else. They just call it Subgiver Action, based on the Shonen Sunday manga by Spriggan co-creator. I'm gonna give that dismissive. Overfiend's basically like trashy but well-produced 80s sci-fi horror movies. Mm-hmm. The descriptions of some of these H anime make Overfiend sound tame. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Uratsuki Doji really feels like it teeters the line because it's so much plot. I haven't seen it yet, but like in full. But I've scrubbed through the whole movie for clips for a certain project, and it does feel like it's mostly an actual story, kind of like on the lines of Genma Tyson almost. But it has sex scenes in it. I was only interested because the first two, because of the writer. There it is. There it is. There he is. Project Blue Earth SOS from 2006. It's a kind of a long article. Kind of long. An anime to file alongside Metropolis, offering a glimpse of a very different world and a set of criteria for storytelling. It was based on an idea by Shigeru Komatsuzaki, an artist who was one of the greats of the post-war Japanese magazines, but who refused to set aside his double-paged Golden Age splash spreads in favor of the newfangled manga artwork being published by the likes of Tezuka. Hence, despite being one of the greatest icons of Japanese pulp sci-fi work in the 1950s, Komatsuzaki's artistic heritage has largely faded away, remembered only in a footnote to the genesis of Super Atragon and as a production designer on a few Rubber Monster movies. Despite this, his career continued for decades, largely as the illustrator of the box art for model kits, contributing behind the scenes to the world impact of everything from Thunderbirds to Metal Gear Solid. A fire at his home in 1995 destroyed much of his personal archives, threatening to turn him into one of the lost ghosts of 20th century entertainment. Aww. Under its original title of Earth SOS, the basis for this anime was an illustrated story published in its heyday in his heyday, adapted here as an old-fashioned show with old-fashioned values. Director Okamura, better known for Wolf's Rain, gives out logical inconsistencies, hammy scenarios, and joyously overwritten characters lifted straight from B-movies, with finey, super detailed retro-futurist mecha to match. This is a good... Oh my... I'm really interested in this. Wow. I had to admit, it doesn't look amazing. Like, it looks... Yeah. Not gonna lie. But I wouldn't have looked twice. But this is a really interesting backstory with this. I really like that article. Learned about Shigeru Komatsuzaki. I'm now interested in this show. Earth SOS. And I think they did positive, I think. Old-fashioned show with old-fashioned values, gives out logical inconsistencies, hammy scenarios, and joyously overwritten characters lifted straight from B-movies. F-I-N-N-Y? What is that? Relating to or resembling a fish. Fishy, super detailed, retro-futurist mecha to match. Okay. Joyously overwritten characters. I think that's a positive comparison to compare it to Metropolis, so... While alongside Metropolis, glimpse of a very different world. Joyously overwritten characters. I want to look quickly into what Shigeru forgot his name. Komatsuzaki. There you go. Wow. Oh my gosh. I've certainly seen work kind of in this style, for sure. Wow. Yeah, mostly known for kind of model kits, I guess. Wow. Really cool. Loving this. Aww. It's for Yamato. This is really kind of cool. Like ancient Greek philosophers and this like really crazy fantasy sci-fi thing. That's awesome. Skywagon, let's fucking go. Oh wow. This was really interesting. That's awesome. Dude only has a Japanese Wikipedia article completely unknown here. That does sound cool. This is one of the few Okamura works I have not seen. Japanese wiki's way better for anime than English. Oh yeah. Although the translations aren't great. Rita Osamu-Teiko's Japanese wiki in the auto translate said he had a bomb dropped on his head 7 times and he died 7 times. Okay. It's good for Japanese games in Toku also. I think it also calls him a woman several times. Pronouns are hard in Japanese, it seems. Apparently. Like, trying to figure out whether someone's a guy or a girl. Love this 50-60 sci-fi art. I've definitely seen Thunderbolt's art in that style. Yeah. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. Big fan of that. Very happy they pointed my attention to that. This is why I read the whole thing. Project Boobs. 2006. You didn't expect that, did you? Of all the projects, anything it could have been. Of course. Ugh. Of course. Anyway, moving on. Promise to this blue sky. Kokura Azuma. Hold on, I just need to see the visuals. Okay. I'm not familiar with this title. I was wondering if like this is deceptively like a title I actually know about, and you know, I don't know, just made me think of it. Did we mention this is a harem show? No, you didn't, because the premise actually sounded kind of interesting. Aside from the very premise, the very beginning, like the impetus, I guess. It's based on an erotic visual novel from 2006, for which the author is uncredited by developers Giga and TGL, and frankly, we're not surprised. The saucy aspects were toned down for TV, leaving nothing to attract the attention. Not even Artland's professionalism can rescue this repetitive and tedious tale. That's a shame. Because, I mean, the part that makes me interested in it... And look, don't get me wrong, the way this is initially started, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't have much room for hope either. Let me read the synopsis for you. Wataru finds a girl asleep in his room, wearing only her undies. She wakes up, punches him in the face, and makes her escape via the window. Makes her escape via the window? Okay. So she escapes via the window? Whatever. It will be no surprise to seasoned anime fans that she turns out to be the new transfer student at Wataru's school and his new roommate. And this is the part that actually gets me interested. Why Rina has been transferred to the school is a mystery since it's set to close in a year's time, when the major industry on their island shuts down and all the families are sent back to the mainland. She decides that she'd rather spend a year on a small island without making friends than face the pain of separation. Wataru, the only boy in the dorm, tries to convince her she's wrong and naturally succeeds. I don't know. I thought that the scenario here of being on this island that's sort of like set to close in a year and everyone's moving away from it is kind of sad and interesting to me. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the title though, so if you have any commentary, let me know. Imagine if Tezuka actually had bomb dropped in his head 7 times and came back from each of them. If Tezuka had a bomb dropped, he would lick his finger, dip it in ash, and start drawing manga with it. Yeah. His first words out of coma was, "Give me a pen." Yeah. That's why I read the whole thing, immediately moves to Project Boobs. Yeah. Huh? The author tends to just be the company for most VNs. What is the Japanese title? Oh, sorry. Kono Azura ni Yakusoku. Yeah, Kono Azura ni Yakusoku, which sounds like it seems like a pretty proper localization. The scenario writer writes the different routes. Kono Azura ni Yakuso. Okay. That's a Fumiaki Maruto work. Yeah, though I doubt the authors would know Maruto, sadly. But while White Album 2 would have released by then, I think this is one of the most popular games of its genre back in the 2000s. Oh, yeah? I'm not familiar. Interesting. Pretty dismissive, I'd say. I'll put the Japanese title. Kono Aozora ni Yakusoku. Not even Artland's professionalism can rescue this repetitive and tedious tale. Also, did we mention this is a harem anime? Like, okay, so what? I'm not good with VN, so I'll take chat's word for it. at least take the word of somebody who knows who wrote it and the context of this title in the grand scheme of things. Even if it doesn't have much to do with the anime itself, you know? Like, literally what they just did with the fucking Project Blue Earth SOS, that is the same amount of thought and care that I would hope they would give to VNs, or to, you know, to whatever. Some, like, looking into it a little bit. But of course it's impossible to do that for everything. I understand. But yeah, it creates a very uneven product. Erotic VN from 06, for which the author is uncredited, by developers Giga and TGL. And frankly, we're not surprised. Naruto. So you're saying it's White Album 2, the White Album 2 guy? Gotta see you next time. Thank you, Glowworm. Good seeing you. Is White Album 2 translated? The VN? Yeah, the translation released recently. Been wanting to watch the anime. Heard it was good. Naruto would become more relevant to mainstream anime fans with stuff like Saikano and Engage Kiss, but those came out after 2014. Gotcha. I'm still harping on that original creator being the company line. That's like saying the creators were too ashamed by Cowboy Bebop that they created it as being by Hajime Yatate. It is similar to that, and I feel like they've had a similar... I feel like they made that point in their Bebop article, actually. Not in a bad way, exactly, but in a way that's like... Look, it's by this pen name, okay? I don't know. I feel like that's the way they talked about it. I'm just looking through their Bebop article again. No, they actually don't mention that. I've seen them do it with Toei. I've seen it do it with the Toei pen name, the Toei pen name. I feel like VN's vary between being a collective work and being a very focused vision of a single author. Okay, moving on. Protecting from the Shadows from 2006. Should I Protecting from the Shadows, or Kagekara Mamoru, is a less risque rewrite of Mouse for a slightly younger audience. Wait, what? Are they really making a fucking exception here? Wait a minute. A harem comedy based on an idea by Taro Achi, creator of Dokoida. KKM is a less risque rewrite of Mouse for a slightly younger audience. A nerdy, hapless guy is actually a cool thief, surrounded by girls who want him. Romantically, in this case, rather than sexually/romantically. You're really making a fucking delineation of like, oh, this other one's sexual, but not this one. Really? What's to say all these other fucking harem shows that you've kind of dismissed as being harem shows don't want him sexually? Are you really gonna make a delineation of that? Like, oh, it's bad if they want him sexually. Like, what are you making this distinction for? Note that the last 2 episodes were broadcast in a single. Yeah. Shoot, now I want to watch it. Dokoida was awesome. Yeah. It's by Taro Achi. That's just a weird fucking distinction there. And they don't really give much an opinion other than that. They just say it's a less risque rewrite of Mouse. Thanks, Roger. Okay. Protective. Charm Himari. From 2010. Harem melange. A varied mixture. Harem melange of cat girls, demons, maids, and monsters. One might almost call it spooky Kitaro for the shut-in generation. I don't care. That doesn't rattle me enough. I'm just gonna put, yeah, like this. This is from 1985. Okay, so one thing they did say before I move on to this is that this creature looks like Pikachu. They find a strange creature buried in the sand and decide to take care of it. It looks like Pikachu in a pointy hat and is allergic to water. So I'll look at it and I'll give you my reaction. I just want to have it filmed, I guess. And then I'll show you. I think it's the order of operations. Okay, so this thing looks like Pikachu. Oh yeah? You know, you know, you know, if you squint, yeah, I think it does kind of look like, yeah, I can see the resemblance, yeah, yeah, totally, that looks like Pikachu right there, yeah, that's totally, Pikachu in a pointy hat, yeah, oh yeah, that's definitely, yeah, yep, definitely Pikachu, yes. Look at that. Look at that cute little... That's a little Pikachu right there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's not like a Tara. What? Great. Maybe if Pikachu had a mouth on its belly. Yeah, yeah. Whatever. Funny, but I'm moving on. Yeah, but it's from the ending of Sign for the Video. Yeah. 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 It's my favorite. Psychic Academy from 2002. I'll read the whole thing. Not the whole thing, but like where I was up to this point. Ai Shiomi is an insecure teenager following his gifted older brother to a school for students with psychic abilities. All the female pupils seem to manifest their biggest talents at chest level, providing a clue that this is just another formulaic wish fulfillment show. So, because all the girls have big breasts, you're just gonna assume that it's a generic formulaic show. Gotcha. Good judgment you got there. Very quick, very efficient. Is interrupted by random psychic battles and rough and ready wisdom from his crusty psychic coach. Much eye candy, plus boys' uniforms shamelessly stolen from Harry Potter, may please the undiscerning. Who produced the boys' manga for Escaflowne. This show's sole attempt at innovation was being released straight to the internet, although in its American incarnation, it was released on DVD. Okay, I kind of actually want to take a look at this. Okay. That's it? Look how many images there are for this. That's it. I looked up the Japanese name. Admittedly, not much. And they really... Harry Potter? Because he's got like a trench coat? Like Hagrid? I guess. Dude, don't show them fucking Mashal. They'll fucking claw their eyes out. Man. And no, I don't think it's because of the boobs that I would have made that judgment call, to be perfectly honest with you. I would make a similar blasé call, but not for any of those reasons. I think to me, it's just the, this isn't really my place to like criticize this. I've not seen any of these. Okay, I was about to be like, it's on Crunchyroll. Shigeru Chiba's in the cast. Let's fucking go. Fucking Mal page doesn't come up for it. What the heck? Wait. Like, at all. I'm at the end of the effing... We've admitted some entries very similar to the 20-hour... Well, I want to know Mal. I want to get fucking Mal entry. The fuck? Or ANN, or, like, whatever? Wait, what? Okay, it gives me the manga. And there's the adaptation. Which is just Psychic Academy. They don't even... Okay. Alright. Like, I would have just kind of taken it as, like... I wouldn't even know these are psychics, because it's just two girls, and it's like, yeah, okay. You know? It wouldn't be just the boo. Like, they don't even have that... It's not even that, like, egregious. I don't know. Kind of a strange complaint, I think. Actually looks like that creature in Romantic Killer. Oh yeah. Cypher should suck on all counts, but somehow transcends badness. That's right. It's a good one. Very good. Kinda looks like a Dragon Quest reject. Yeah. What's not a ripoff of these guys? On Mal it's just called Psychic Academy. Sorry I didn't see that. If you look up just Kanji name you'll see what they're talking about. Or a bunch. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Psychic Detective Yakumo. And this one's from 2010. An attractively awkward protagonist, not above exploiting his talent to play mean tricks, with a sly, sarcastic line in teasing that might explain why he has so few close friends. Like the sociopathic protagonist of the BBC's 2011 Sherlock, the moments when you want to slap him almost outweigh sympathy or admiration. The story dodges the mystery of the week problem with an overarching plot about Yakumo's family. Watch out for excessively sentimental moments when his kindly uncle is on the scene. And subplots from the original novels linking several episodes. The mysteries are enjoyable if not exceptionally challenging, and there is considerable violence. I'd say it's a positive, pretty much. Also, problem? Mystery of the problem. Mystery of the week problem. Is it a problem? Do you guys find it a problem? The only reason I kind of find it like the only thing that doesn't engage with me the same way as a linear story is when characters are introduced that are really interesting and good that could be further elaborated upon, that could join the full cast, and they aren't. But that's not a problem with Mystery of the Week, Robot Enemy of the Week stories. That's an issue with being, budget and limited. Because when bringing on the same characters and recurring characters and stuff, unless it's a narrative thing like One Piece or something, where it's a manga adaptation, if the characters are brought back, they have to be with the voice actor and everything, and it balloons the talent pool and just becomes a big project. Whereas if you can have a limited cast where it's just the main characters, maybe their family, a couple of recurring a little bit, and you only have certain recurring people that only show up once or twice total. They could be voiced by the same people or even by people within the cast, kind of like, not have to hire out or not get more voices and stuff like that. But it ends up it's not a Mystery of the Week thing, and that's my only issue with it, is that it could create more interesting stuff throughout, and but it's not like, I don't know, calling it a problem is weird to me. If you just, only in Detective Conan. Psychic Force from 1998. But there's this one that hasn't shown up in the 3rd edition yet. Hold on. Let me look this up and let me just Control F this. One result. Oh, they moved it to C. Oh, they moved Psybuster to CY to PSI. Okay, never mind. Okay, Psychic Force. Okay, not much to say about it. Yeah, they didn't know, no changes either. Moving on. Psychic School Wars. My mouse was dangerously on the stop streaming button for a second there. Psychic School Wars. Oh, it's fortuitous that Roger's in the chat, or I assume he still is. Hate that the main story doesn't seem to keep going. Still like the show, though, just a little infuriating. Also, stop gaslighting your girlfriend, Conan. A new transfer student arrives in the 8th grade at a Kamakura school, although he is soon revealed as the point man for an attempt to take over the school with an army of psychic fascists. Seemingly put into production in the wake of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, this adaptation of Taku Mayumura's 1970s sci-fi novel must have seemed like a no-brainer to its producers. Revisit the original, which has been adapted multiple times as movies and live-action TV shows, including School in Peril, add a few whistles and bells, and hey, presto, an instant anime classic like Mamoru Hosoda's runaway hit. At its heart, this could have been a film with a lot to say, finding new resonances for modern kids by depicting the most horrific of fascist clampdowns, a ban on mobile phones at school, and using that as a window into the study of how human beings connect or fail to connect with one another, in the manner of Garden of Words. Sadly, this is nothing of the sort, coming across as a muddled and bumbling mood piece in which elements of the plot have been discarded in the apparent hope that audiences will already know what's going to happen. Digital effects are slapped on in a vain attempt to plaster over the gaps of the plot. creating scintillating, iridescent moments of sunbeams, lens flares, and light pouring through stained glass over a bunch of talking heads fiddling with their cell phones in an inadvertent homage to the films of Makoto Shinkai, which you yourself made reference to earlier. You just said, and using that as a window into a study of how human beings connect or fail to connect with another in the manner of Garden of Words. And then you're just making a dig on Shinkai movies? Being like, oh, there's just a bunch of talking heads fiddling with their cell phones in an inadvertent homage to the films of Makoto Shinkai. Like, this is really mixed messages here. A heroic attempt at distraction by animators who could clearly see that nothing could save the script. How presumptuous of you! How presumptuous of this... the fuck? These superabundant elements made for great stills from the movie, but are not much help when you are sitting in the cinema waiting desperately for it to end. The script makes one rather bold decision in the finale, but then wimps out and reverses it in a post-credits coda. Sorry I had to put you through that, Raj. I have a bit of a bone to pick with this one. I think the fascism stuff is correct, but they misunderstand multiple things. Firstly, it's not a Shinkai homage. I've read practically every interview on the movie I could find. Shinkai is not mentioned once. Do they mention Girl Who Leapt Through Time? Because these guys are trying... I think the more intense argument that they're making, I think, besides the Shinkai thing, is that they saw the success of Girl Who Leapt Through Time and were like, let's make that. Do you think there's any credence to that? Did the creators mention that at all? I'm sure I'll have plenty of your while I write down their stuff. Muddled and bumbling mood piece. Animators could this is such a joke. Could clearly see that nothing could save the script. Ugh. Well, I should probably write I'll put that in odd choices, but like waiting desperately for it to end. Ryosuke Nakamura has a distinct style, and they know this. They reviewed Box of Goblins positively. This is similar to his other works. They do mention Girl Who Leapt Through Time because it's a Madhouse novel adaptation, but this isn't correct. Narewata Gakuen is not an adaptation of the book. It's a sequel to the book. The characters from the original novel are the grandparents and parents of the characters in the movie. Next, the bold choice they were referring to would have completely contradicted the themes of the movie. The characters can only time travel once and back. What do you mean what they're saying, the bold choice of, the script makes one rather bold decision in the finale, but then wimps out and reverses it in the post-credit scene. It would have completely contradicted the themes of the movie. If they went for it. Which they wanted it to go for. Interesting. And the point is that characters belong in their own time period, conveying two ideas, one of eternal love and one of passing love. This muddled thing with like could have been in the manner of Garden of Words, then digital effects over a bunch of talking heads fiddling with their cell phones in an inadvertent homage to Shinkai. The scriptwriter was the director, and the animators actually understood the story quite well. They animated it the way they did out of actual interest. Ugh. I think the film is a bit hard to understand in one watch, and Nakamura agrees with me. But with a second watch, most of it is actually conveyed quite clearly. But Nakamura was not satisfied with making the message easier to understand, and as he did not want a clear villain, since he didn't view that as true understanding or communication. So presumptuous to assume. So rude. And look, I know this is not a very well liked movie. It doesn't have very many it's not a very critical darling. It's not even polarized. It's not even like divisive in the same way. Like defenders and people who actually like this movie seem to be very far and few between. And I'm happy I have one in my chat. Just listen to Roger, he probably knows what he's talking about. Well, he made a whole video about it, and actually went and did the research, watched it multiple times, read interviews, gave it the respect it deserves, rewatched it recently. And that is how every anime deserves to be talked about. All of them. Even the ones that I do not like, or find repulsive or whatever, in that case, I am not the one to say those things. I am not the one to make that video, in my personal opinion. There's some people who, make the argument that, no, I can talk about it even though I don't like it. I can give it respect and talk about it even though I don't like it. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. I also checked out the Obayashi adaptation from the 80s, and I appreciated the anime even more after that. Interesting how that works. Well, that's that. Psychic Squad from 2008. Rather awkward mashup of Steven Spielberg's Minority Report. 2002, how did he ever miss the trick of putting in 3 cute kids? With a dash of the Powerpuff Girls Z, a sprinkling of Akira, and a rather distasteful tang of lewdness. The main villain looks like a parody of Japanese fetish wrestler Hard Gay. One of the trio makes very off-color jokes that send her little friends into fits of laughter, And the boss of Babel is creepy. The girls wear uniforms with fitted jackets that show off more curves than is normal for 10-year-old girls anywhere except in boys' anime and manga. Despite the lively, bouncy aura and happy colors, this is not a show for 10-year-old girls. 2 years after the series ended, It also has a news manga, blah, blah, blah. Just information about the franchise. Zentai Karen Children? Minority Report? Akira? What? I get Powerpuff Girls. It's like, Powerpuff Girls, I get that one. Also, I don't really think their uniforms are all that ecchi. It's a kid show. I haven't seen it. I've heard the name Zentai Karen Children, but I can't recall the... That's nothing. I'm just looking at the manga cover. Like that's nothing. I thought I was not expecting that. Okay. That's really not that. They kind of look like the character designs kind of remind me of Pokemon. Like, they look... Even the manga kind of looks like Ken Sugimori art. I'm not gonna lie. But, like... I don't know, this kind of looks like, it just gives me that vibe. The designs, at least. The facial designs, like that, you know. Okay, come on, like that. I think they were exaggerating a little bit with that one. Also, I don't really think their uniforms are all that cheap for kids show. It aired in a morning time slot, the same one Mar and Hayate no Gokuto have aired in prior. Hayate characters actually make a cameo in the series. They're making it sound like it's Professor Payne or something. They're just some lewd jokes, but nothing that questionable. Alright. They don't really say anything positive about it, so I'm going to give it a negative. Rather awkward mashup of Minority Report with a dash of PPGZ, sprinkling of Akira, and a rather distasteful tang of lewdness. Also, look, I am not versed in fitted jackets that show off more curves than is normal for 10-year-old girls anywhere except in boys' anime and manga. Despite the lively, bouncy aura and happy colors, this is not a show for 10-year-old girls. I'm not that versed in this stuff. But, like, wasn't there just a huge movement of, like, gothic Lolita and, like, just those sorts of this sorts of thing in girls manga? Like, it's not a wholly guy thing, you know. Like, I'm sure this is published in a, like, what's it the manga based on Takashi Shina's manga. They don't even make a note of what magazine it was in. Shonen Sunday, weekly Shonen Sunday. Like, okay. It's also interesting to note that the Mind Globe spin-off, The Unlimited, features a weird cameo of Nostalgia Critic. Oh, that's that show. Right. Because it's not like a comedic scene. It's actually quite serious. That's funny. Shouldn't be, but I guess it's funny. Whatever. Alright, moving on. Oh! Immediately? I hate when they do this, dude. Like, the first where this happens so often, it's so sad. In this disappointingly trite adaptation of Yasuaki Karura's sci-fi novel, and then they go into the fucking synopsis. It's like, couldn't you just say the synopsis and not just predicate it at the top there? Oh my gosh. Director Imazawa tries to jolly things along by playing up the rich just say history! What the fuck is historicity? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry if I'm just being, like, a little salty about this, but, like, what historicity? Historical authenticity. Okay, so it's just a combo word to make the historical accuracy. Playing up the rich historicity of the Kansai region. Ugh. And literally many-colored land of the past, but he doesn't have the time or budget to do it properly. He's not helped in this by a particularly poor UK dub that has academics discussing the mysteries of Japan's lost Jomon culture without being able to pronounce its name. That's funny. I think I've seen that. I also saw once saw a guy who looked like Henkel in the Dressrosa arc of One Piece. Yep. Big words make me sound smart. Yeah, I guess that could no. Budget to do it properly. Psychic armor. Govarian. Even then it's Govarian. Whatever. Let me just yeah, they don't change anything in Psychic Wars. The whole so dismissive. Gonna be putting dismissive in this one. You learn that this is another of Go Nagai's many robot tales, though not one of his best. Did you even fucking watch it? Granted, no, it's not one of his best. Like I've watched it. I was the first show I ever quality checked for Discotheque. Oh my god. They don't mention that the guy is controlling it psychically and also created the robot psychically. The robots are manifested not simply with him piloting it to help, with psychic powers. But each of the 3 pilots have a psychic companion that they partner with that helps them conjure the actual robot, which creates, surprise, a different dynamic than Mazinger Z. But other than that, yeah, I get it. Not too different. Also, Kabuto Koji, the MC for Mazinger Z, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since it's been Mazen Kaiser. Kabuto Koji is not psychic. Or maybe he is in the original show, and I didn't get that far. I'm pretty sure he isn't, though. Not one of his best. That actually sounds interesting. Yeah, but like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't do much. It doesn't go super deep or anything. But I will tell you, it's different from Mazinger Z in the fact that, like, it's way less episodic. Sure, they have to have that formulaic, you know, every episode needs some conflict in it. But there's a whole arc where they actually go to the aliens' realm, which is like super. They kind of get like teleported there, and they spend like 2 or 3 episodes kind of trapped there almost. There is an actual continuity and timeline to the whole thing, whereas Mazinger Z literally is like, I'm sure this TV show. I haven't dived into it myself yet. From what I understand, though, it's 92 episodes, and the manga is not that long. What is it doing? Very likely, or my presumption with Mazinger Z is it is a Monster of the Week thing, where they're coming across different situations, and that's okay. That's not to denounce, like, to call it trite or anything like that. I'm just saying that's its structure. That's what it does. Is that, you know, it's having a recurring villain, and they're trying out different monsters and different scenarios and tricks and underhanded things, and slowly Kabuto's getting better. Koji's getting better at piloting it. He's having his relationship with the girl and the big boss. I think it's just Boss, I think is his name. The other guy who pilots the 3rd robot and stuff. And then there's some, you know, developing antagonists where it's like they get like a different main person. Like there's obviously the big bad, and they send their henchmen to kind of do the main stuff, and they're kind of the face of the thing for a while, and then they swap him with somebody else after a while, and whatever, you know. But Govarian does have more of a narrative. It's more in line with the super robots of Nagahama, like Daimos and Combatler, where there is an ongoing story. It is episodic in a way that, like, you can just kind of watch any episode and it's still entertaining. Because, you know, that's kind of what TV anime should strive to do. Every episode should have something interesting and something worth watching, right? It's also shorter. It's only 26 episodes. But I will tell you, it's animated by Knack, and Knack is not exactly known as one of the best to ever do it. They're yeah, not great. It's not a looker. The show is not a looker, but it's fun. It's fine enough. Hopefully there are no annoying kids like in Combatler. I haven't seen Combatler yet, but there's annoying kids. There's children in Govarian, because like the partners that they're kind of like teenagers that are actually the pilots and stuff, and then the partners that they're with are like the annoying kids. So they really ruined the show for me. That's too bad. I mean, it depends on the kid, right? I think Piper Lou is a really effective kid character in Ideon, because of the way he interacts with the main robot, and certain things. I like the Gundam kids well enough. I also appreciate that they grow up and become their own characters a little later on. But I get it doesn't work for everything, for sure. They weren't too bad for me, though, in Covarian. But that's just... Of course they thought that. Anyway. And I can also maybe give them benefit of the doubt. They just needed a writing segue to say of, like, this is the same author as... this is the same creator as Mazinger Z. But, of course, they had to kind of put it in a little flippant way. Psycho Driver. Soul Siren. From 1997. Well, to me, my problem with Combat Layers Kids is they were added to the second half, and they're really clear self-inserts to me. Oh, yeah. Like, don't you want to travel into this world with these characters? Kind of, yeah. Just didn't work. Mm-hmm. If they don't add anything, then it's like, yeah, why are they there? Because what happens is you're spending time on those characters and not on the things you do care about, that you've grown to care about over that first half of the show. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a toughie. Okay. They've been pretty positive about it. I thought they were setting up for something to be negative, but no, it just kept being kind of positive. Psycho Driver, Soul Siren. Look is urban hard, cool, savvy, just enough retro and pop culture references. Voice cast fan favorites. Usually, like, very rarely mention that, actually. That's a rare talking point. Okay. I'm actually interested in that now. Because surprise, surprise, when you're positive. It's only 47 minutes, too. Psycho Pass! Ooh. And they actually... So the second season had been confirmed, but hadn't been made yet. They didn't have a confirmation of the number of episodes. I haven't watched much Mecha, but I love Galactic Whirlwind Sasoriger. Thank you, Disc Tech Guy, for introducing me to this cheesy, wonderful show. Oh, I'm happy you enjoyed that. If you check out the other J9 stuff, I mean, you know, the other J9 stuff, all three of those got kind of limited releases. So if you can't get them, then it's unfortunate. But you know, they're in the same. That's in the same ballpark, the same group of people. In the J9 trilogy. I feel they were kid appeal characters put in by executives to attract a wider audience. Even when I was 8, I disliked those kinds of characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's what it felt like to me. It was a bummer because I think the show was plenty appealing without them. Shame the studio that made this does nothing but ecchi these days. Knack? Oh shoot, this was a Kanbei anime. Psycho Driver Soul Siren? Yeah, Mamoru Kanbei. Wow. Kids aren't so dumb that you need to put these kids and kind of characters in just to write a good show. I like the way Kanbei directs horror. Okay, let me read the Psycho Pass entry. Future cop Akane Tsunemori is a rookie with fast-growing doubts about a newfangled device that allows the police to determine the levels of criminality and potential criminality in a suspect. As a result of the ability to read their Psycho Pass remotely, guilt and suspicion have become, or seem to have become, much more clear-cut, leading to law enforcement that often takes the role of judge, jury, and executioner. This, however, has other implications in a society that is increasingly intrusive towards its citizens, demanding ever more invasive levels of scrutiny and access to their lives. Sound familiar? Gen Urobuchi, already riding high on his scripts for Madoka Magica, lifts elements of Minority Report and a textbook on social ethics for this dark, confrontational sci-fi thriller. Well, they don't really give an opinion about it, so, okay. We'll move on, I guess. That's it. And there it is! Okay, really? Wait a minute. This is in P? This is really in P? You honestly? What is this organization thing? What is this? Where did I put the tertiary name stuff? Oh, let me see if okay. Yeah, I have to make this note about fucking tertiary names. This is ridiculous. Or like just general localizing things. Why is it listed as Mazinger Z and not the English localization Transer Z? And yet Star Blazers. Getarobo instead of Starvengers. Gigi and the Fountain of Youth instead of Miki no Momo? Well, no, because the movie was called Gigi, but not the show. I'm just gonna make a list of like, okay, Utena, Evangelion, but not Space Runaway Ideon, Space Adventure Cobra, Puella Maggie Madoka Magica. Did they move it to Revolutionary Girl Utena? No. Utena is still in U in the 3rd edition. Gundam. But not Space Runaway Ideon, Cobra, Madoka Magica. They put fucking Madoka Magica in P. Because of Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Anyone else think Psychopaths could make a good survival horror game? Weird they keep renaming shows via the dub names when most of these anime weren't popular here. That is so strange. Alright, we're reading it. Madoka Kaname is just an ordinary girl in middle school with a happy home life, devoted family, and good friends. After being caught up in a surreal dream, she is informed by a cute animal familiar that she can make a difference to others and save her beloved home and friends. All she has to do is become a magical girl and fight the witches who spread despair. The opening of the show, which resembles so many other magical girl shows, gives no clue that here we're witnessing a contract with no escape clause, a deal with forces that are not all they seem. The candy store battles of brightly colored children with their transformation sequences and inappropriate lingerie are not a game. Are you... Where are you getting the fucking inappropriate lingerie thing from? Like a handful of fucking titles? I smell contempt for this genre. Why do you have to bring that up? Like, honestly. What? Oh, what happened? There, the Psycho Amber variant. I literally put that in this thing. What the fuck happened? Why does it have this shit? Ianuna and you, Psycho Govarian. Ideon. Nautica Magica. This fucking... The candy store. Battles of brightly colored children with their transformation sequences and inappropriate lingerie are not a game. The birth one was especially weird to me. That and Poltergeist Report. Voltron and Robotech I can understand, but why stuff like Mazinger? Macros is another one that they lifted as M in as Macros, but not Super Dimensional Fortress Macros. Precure is the same thing. Futariwa Precure. Okay. Madoka is playing for real, as are the existing magical girls in this series, including the frightening stranger Homura, who seems hell-bent on stopping Madoka attaining magic powers. The cat-like familiar Kyubi isn't playing at all. If you set out to find a director to turn the magical girl genre on its head, Akiyuki Shimbo would be high on your shortlist. An earlier step along that route, the Dali-esque universe of faith and terror that he orchestrated for Portrait of Petit Cosette was unforgettable, but even in more realistic settings, like the modern Japan of Arakawa Under the Bridge, he uses fantasy to underline the dark subtexts of modern life. Ume Aoki's original character designs for the promo film are beautifully reworked by Kishida, and the art team does a superb job, with animation and background assistance from companies including Tezuka Pro, Madhouse, Artland, Production Reed, Ashi Pro, Synergy SP, and David Pro. Urobuchi's beautifully paced script rarely hits a wrong note. The entropy of ennui, so differently explored in Peeping Life, and the persistence of hope may be equally crushing, equally terrible, but the fact that one persists despite the other is present as a human triumph on a heartbreaking scale. It seems tragically appropriate that the transmission of the final 2 episodes was delayed with reality in the form of the 2011 Great Japan earthquake, destroying the world's TV schedules. The TV series teased the audience with sequel prospects that not once but twice in its final moments. The DVD release allowed the team to revise the original broadcast series, and this process continued in the 3 movies by the same team, reusing the original material with some new animation and an all-new voice track by the TV actors. This could be the action of a team restricted by TV schedules and budgets finally able to give the work the space and time it merits, or it could be a pragmatic attempt to get as much mileage as possible out of an unexpectedly popular concept. See Evangelion. Appeared in Japanese cinemas just a week apart. The story continued with movie 3 in October 3rd, 2013. Meanwhile, there is much interest to be had in comparing Madoka Magica with The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, another show that invests a schoolgirl with superhuman significance. Alright, I guess. Well, I liked it. No, so Full Windman, they have two entries. They have a macros entry and they have a Robotech entry. It's two entries. Protect the Shadow's official English names were Guardian, Ninja, Mamoru, shouldn't it be in G? Well, it's also the same where Mask of Glass, they call it Mask of Glass and not Glass Mask. Gives no clue. You mentioned the surreal dream just before. First couple episodes are pretty eerie and mysterious. I think that's plenty to go off of. So they don't even call Macros Robotech? So much for consistency. They do know that Shimbo directed a well-known magical girl before. Guess they didn't really mention it, no. No mention of Fraulein Yuna Nanoha? Two-Mao Shoujo Shimbo directed Fraulein Yuna or Nanoha? No. Well, at least we're into the M's now. No, Drax, we're at P, actually. Yeah, I don't think there's much between Haruhi and Madoka where like you couldn't help but compare the two. The endless random comparisons are really annoying and not insightful at all. If that's the case, why don't they just talk about Robotech in the macro section? Because the I'll show you. I'll show you why. It would take like 4 pages. Okay, yeah. So this starts there, macros, and it is this entire page. That's all macros. This is all, it goes from here, 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 and here. All of that is macros. And then QRS Robotech is all of that. 2 very big articles. So I can understand why they didn't exactly want to do that. Okay. Hug you. I did watch this, actually. I don't remember why, but I did. Not so much a series as a televised gag strip. Self-consciously strange and made using limited animation techniques liable to make it easier to port onto mobile phones. Okay. Not much of a commentary, though. Oh, never mind. Shaves, I remember when I got you to watch Big Euro. That had been like early 2016. Oh, okay, yeah. Sheesh. Pumpkin Skizzers from 2006. Okay, they mixed on it. They really give a review for this one. But I'm going to summarize it as falls short of greatness, but at least made some effort, as what they end the review on. Just to say, as a note. Pumpkin wine, the Kabocha wine from 1982. I gotta go back to P. Sorry. The letter P. Sheesh. Making good progress, damn. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I got that. Okay. Kabocha wine. ADV spent an absurd amount of money licensing pumpkin stitches. Ah, damn. The series jars modern audiences because of the dated design and Rubenesque physique of the heroine, but the story has charm, and the French dub was very successful. They do give some opinion. That's the opinion mostly they give. I'm going to read the 3rd edition. I'd say it's mixed. Jars modern audiences because of dated design. But the story has charm. Okay. But it's really mostly bloated with like, oh, OVA and specials and shit. Puni Puni Poemi. How much? Almost 800k. 7 Pumpkin was pretty good anime. No wonder they went under soon after. Yeah. They think they were playing Battle for Shonen or something? Well, the next kind of FMA type of thing looked like it. They make a comparison to FMA in the Pumpkin Scissors article, too. As well as comparing it to the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. And the fact they barely let Cartoon Network Adult Swim marinate their anime. Notoriously bad with spending. Most heinous one was Phantom Memory for 960. I think they owed like almost 9 million. Only Super Milk Chan and Evangelion now. Again, how did they think they were going to make money back with no deals? Pumpkin Wine had a pretty good opening. Cool. I don't know if it's fully subbed. I know it was being worked on, I think. Wait, Pui Pui Poemi. This is in the first edition. Spin-off of Excel Saga. We're on like the last page, almost close to the last page of the first edition. They don't make any commentary on it though. Huni Schment Posh School Girls Sexualization School. I'm not typing the rest of it. 2011. Great. That's it. Moving on. Great. Let's see what they have to say about Pupa. This could have been like one of the last entries those would put in. Actually, I think they said they just. I think if I remember, I think they said that they barely missed Shirobako. I don't know if they put Shirobako in here. Let me check actually, or like it just barely made it or something. But that was about the cutoff point with Shirobako. Yeah, no results. They missed Shirobako, but they put fucking Pupa in. Oh. I think Kim Manning got too much hate. I know an old bump I taped, they said they wanted Excel Saga ADV charged too much money. The big thing I remember was when they got outbid by G4 on Gungrave. How do you guys know about this bidding stuff? Was it told after the fact? Because they usually don't talk about this sort of thing. Kind of resent that Mochizuki is known for Pupa when he has such a rich history of cool titles. Yeah. It's also scripted by him apparently too. It's utterly horrible. Exactly as edgy, gritty horror should be. Confronting the reader with an awful, recurring nightmare of cannibalism and decay, as its two leads are forced to feed on each other. Psychologists might determine an underlying subtext of incest, as the lead's codependent relationship is rationalized as some sort of sacrifice for the sake of others. Sociologists might see it as another addition to anime's growing selection of 21st century zombie parables, in which an unsustainable society increasingly feeds on itself. However, there are intimations of trouble behind the scenes. The production was delayed, and the episodes eventually released at an unmanageably short running time, as if the producers were experiencing second thoughts about the likelihood of getting away with such grotesqueries, even in the relatively forgiving world of Japanese animation. As it is, the show still shows clear signs of censorship of some of its edgier moments. Truly repulsive, but in a good way for once. Hey! That's surprising. Wow. Interesting. Look, I mean, I am always on the side of defending a show. If they liked it, that makes me interested. It's not in a like, haha, they're gonna be bullied for liking it or something. It's a, that's cool. I'm shocked. I'm very, because that is all I heard about Pupa is how awful it is. But interesting. Wow. Now I want a whole doc on ADV, interesting stuff. I know they got outbid for Lane. Same I would have loved watching that on Adult Swim. I know there's bidding because Adult Swim would have put polls on their forums out for what show to pick up next. Gunrave won, but because G4 beat them to the punch. Jeez, so that stuff was just kind of like out there. They aired Paranoia Jam, which IRC was the next most voted. I miss the old Adult Swim site. It's more generic now. The staff would also do Q&As on their forums and were a lot more clear. Really? Oh wow. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with the forums being gone as I don't see my cringy old posts from 10 years ago. But there's lots of history missing now, which is sad to me. Wow. I was way too young to post there, so I just lurked. I only posted from 2015 to 15. Pupa goes hard. To be fair, it's pretty awful. By that point, I just use Reddit. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Both ways, of the Pupa thing and what you're saying about the whole licensing stuff. Puppet Master Sackett of 1999. Scooby-Doo meets Child's Play? He didn't even get started. I don't even know what it's about, and that's what you started the article with? Can you give it a break? Yeah, I figured this was it. It was the same duo as Hikaru no Go. But they don't even mention Hikaru no Go. They just say it's based on the Jump manga by Ken Obata and Maru Sharaku. I shouldn't say it's the same duo as Hikaru no Go. I believe it's just Obata, that's the artist, and then it's a different writer, I believe. Attractive designs and an evocative score. Nonetheless, boasts one of the most unlikely premises in detective history. About as believable as Sherlock Holmes talking to a sock puppet, though sleuthing tales such as Detective Conan and Kindaichi are hardly less strange. Attractive designs and an evocative score. Child's Play is Kodocha? Yeah, or Child's Toy. No, it's Child's Play as in like Chucky. Child's Play meaning Chucky, not Child's Toy as in Koto-chan. I didn't use Reddit until fellow YouTubers brought RA Anime to my attention. I actually hadn't heard of RA Anime before then. Crazy that all these years later AS still airs anime, hopefully new gen. Yeah. Well, they're gonna get it from different places like TikTok now. Like, most Gen Z people don't have fucking cable. I sparingly posted on forums back in high school about Adult Swim since they were barely airing anime back then. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Puppet Princess! Let me just double check the first edition, sorry. Yeah, no change. Puppet Princess from 2000. It also has a first edition. It's a short one. Based on a Shonen Sunday manga by Ushio and Tora creator. Karakuri no Kimi. Wait a minute. So, Karakuri Circus? Is that the same thing? Whatever. It doesn't sound like Karakuri Circus. It just doesn't. It sounds like more of a period piece. Yeah, no. Okay, no change. Okay, Puppetry and Stop Motion has its own article, which is cool. Looking forward to reading that. Pure Love, very short article. It's a porn anime. Gotcha. Oh, they actually added something to this article of all things. Because they just gave a synopsis to Pure Love in the first edition. Added an early example of CGI in anime erotica. Just a point, just a little tidbit, cool, little trivia. Pure Male from 2001. So it's not in the first. It's not the first. Purple Eyes in the Dark. Still, the bumps could get people into certain titles. Puppet Princess is epic. I think it's a shame that TV these days isn't varied enough where like a younger generation would probably not have that experience of that weird thing of watching TV. I mean, yeah, it's completely tailored to what the individual experience is now, which is kind of its own thing. It becomes a lot less interesting. Kids could get into Toonami if their parents had cable. When I was a kid, I was always experiencing what would air. You'd see a lot of that for like Blue Submarine 6 and Cup Rainbow. I didn't watch most of the regular AS programming. Yeah. Okay. An image video consisting of images from Chie Shinohara's 1984 comic Margaret manga, set to 7 music interludes in the style of Cypher the Video. A full-blown anime, however, was not forthcoming, as instead the franchise was adapted for live action. cut something. Purple eyes in the dark. Cut. Long rumored to be a forthcoming anime project. Interesting. Next one's Puss in Boots, but we're gonna do Pururun Shizuku-chan. It's from 2006. Effluvia? Their own effluvia? What's effluvia? An unpleasant or harmful odor or discharge. Oh, okay. Guess that's a handy word to know. I'm just gonna write down effluvia. Effluvia. To judge from panty and stocking with garter belt, not all big children have either. Yeah, no, they're not really a fan of panty and stocking, apparently. Okay. Characters include a snot sprite, a slobber sprite, a mud sprite who's mischievous and given to flinging dirt around, a nosebleed sprite, and a sweat sprite, the fat one of the gang. There's also sprites for red, green, and brown tea. Don't cross them. There's sisters and vicious fighters with a pike, nunchuck, and frying pans. All alcohol sprites are naturally of legal drinking age. Yes, this is science fiction for small children, part of a lineage stretching back to Osamu Tezuka's recognition that blood cells and bacilli can be actors too. Okay. Puss in Boots. Every other channel is exactly the same now. Yeah, it's hard running a TV channel these days. Really hard for getting these new series. Delightful if freely adapted version. This is cute. According to studio legend, and only partly in jest, he was regarded as a cat that could devour the Disney mouse. That's cute. Note the presence of a young Hayao Miyazaki in the lower ranks of the animators. They're gonna go out of their way to name Miyazaki when he's a lowly key animator, and not Takahata when he's directing the movie. cool that they're pretty much letting do what he wants. Not many great creators have that luxury. Helps that AS has always been run by animation fans, of course. Film got 2 really crappy Famicom games. Didn't know Takahata did this. Should move it up my watch list then. No, no, Puss in Boots didn't. He didn't direct Puss in Boots. That's not Takahata. No. No, it's Kimio Yabuki. I'm saying that they mention Miyazaki as an animator, but they don't mention Takahata when he directs Pompoko. That was what I was saying. I'm looking forward to checking out these older movies. I never finished Hakujani because I fell asleep. Puss in Boots was fun. I want to watch the first Puss in Boots. I'm not sure about the other ones though. Steve-M has a whole playlist of him going through all the Toei movies, and I probably, it's been years. I watched them when they came out, like years ago. So I'd have to look through them again. But there's certain ones I want to watch and other ones I don't really want to. Let me see. I'll put in positive. That's delightful if really adapted. Unrelated TV series in 1992. Alright, just some other reruns and stuff like that. Just not much to say though. Let me just read the first edition. I do want to point out they did change this one line that does make it more clear in the third edition, because they say this weird changed this delightful if free version of to this delightful if free adaptation. Much better phrasing there. Free version? Like a free sample or something? Oh, they actually added that bit about the mouse. They actually added that to the third edition. Added studio legend. A cat that could devour a Disney mouse. No other changes. All in. That's That's an off. Does anyone know what this is? Does anyone have any guesses of what this is supposed to be referring to? Try to guess the Japanese name of this series. I have never seen it localized like this. How's anyone supposed to? I'm also gonna write that. Yep, Ring Nikakiro. What the heck? General localization weirdness. Planet Busters, not Birth, Poltergeist Report, not Yu Yu Hakusho, Glass, Mask of Glass. Put it all in the ring. Ring Nikakero. This is a literal translation. Google Translate does the same thing. Yeah. There's also, they put in Ring Nikakero 1, aka Get in the Ring. I would say Get in the Ring is a much better localization than Put It All in the Ring. You know? You know? I just saw Shigeyasu Yamauchi. I didn't know he did that. Hold on. What did he? How did he? Did he do a certain episodes? Shigeyasu Yamauchi. I don't see him. I don't see my boy. What? What? Perhaps in Ring Nikakero 1 Shadow? Yamauchi? Nope. Sorry if I'm looking at this up. It's not really that necessary, but... Okay, I'll just do Shigeyasu Yamauchi. Shigeyasu Yamauchi. Oh, he did the pilot film. Okay, cool. Anyway. The Takane siblings are determined to fulfill their late father's wish that a Takane should become a champion boxer. Ryuji sets out to develop special techniques that will make him unstoppable in the ring, trained by his sister Kiku and aiming for the national squad. But first he has to take the junior high school championship against his arch-rival Jun Kenzaki. Based on the manga by Masami Kuramada, this old-fashioned saga of a boy's growth into manhood by way of extreme physical pain, see Tomorrow's Joe, has a mix of old and new names on the crew, and a penchant for improbably flashy attack sequences that take it out of everyday anime and into Dragon Ball territory. Alright, well, they're not really going to make a observation about its importance in Battle Shonen, but okay. Not many people do, so I get it. First person switch is great, open for a Blu-ray. 16-bit systems have great better systems. I think Samurai Pizza game is good. Yeah. Tower games are Ring Nikakero, Little Ring Shinji, LOL, or the box instead. Ring Nikakero predates Dragon Ball. No, exactly. It does. And literally, it's like only because they're both boxing, you're gonna compare Dash no Joe. Alright. They didn't really make a quality assessment about it though, so whatever. And it's not in the first edition, so. Putsun Make Love. 1987. seem to kind of summarize the entire thing. Early work for Tenchi Muyo's Masaki Kajishima. Hold on. I'm wondering if they're doing the same thing again. What? Wait, what? Sorry. Kajishima. Okay, animation director Masaki Kajishima. He's the character designer and animation director, but he's not the original creator. Masaki Kajishima, for Tenchi Muyo, is the original creator. So they are right about it being Tenchi Muyo's. Based on the manga by Jun Amamiya, who's the original creator. This is an early work for Tenchi Muyo's Masaki Kajishima. Yeah, I guess that plays through. That works well enough. And then Playful Spirit of Slow Step and Kimaguri. Did I make this exact Joe's last stream? Of course they actually did it. And Pyun Maru. Last one. From 1967. Nandemo okay. Funny mix of office life and ninja japery was based on the manga, blah blah blah. Okay. They say it's funny, but not much else. I don't really quote that one. Whoo! We're done with P. Oh my gosh. And Q is literally one page. Q R. One page. And let me see how many more titles they actually added. So there's Cutero, Queen, and so they add Queen and Slave from 2002. There's Queen Emeraldus, Queen of a Thousand Years, Queen's Blade, is the second one that they add. The Quiet Dawn, which is also in this book. Quiltian from 1996, so that's a new entry actually. Quintuplets, Quiz Magic Academy, Quo Vadis, Quasar of Stigmata. That's it. They added 7 new entries for Q, because the original book only had 1, 2, 3, 4 total. So we will hammer all of that out next stream, as well as spend time reading some of the articles they have. And that will leave us, that will be on Friday the 21st, ideally. And that will leave the 25th and the 28th to do R. R in the first book. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's 17 pages. P was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. About 25 pages. So it would probably be a lot of R. Let me count how many R entries there are for at the moment. I already have counted, actually. Thank you, past me. There are 128 R entries. So if you split the difference, that is 64. Which is a lot more. Like, I just did 50 just now. I'd have to. No time for bullshit. Yeesh. Finish by end of April. Let's see where that ends. Actually, I just wanted to know. Okay. Requiem, Forum, the Darkness is the 64th entry. Yeah. At least they're covering an H anime with a famous name attached. Yata! Hard. Nice, only captains say R. All the pirate talk reminds me of Project Dreams ROM was shown off in the Rare Founders Twitter last week. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. You know, instead of reading their articles, though, I could just bang out Q and then try to get a head start on R. I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the idea. So that I have 3-ish streams for R. Still a lot. Whew. Well, fellas, thank you very much for joining me on that excursion. I totally realized I hadn't been putting the notes on. There they are. That sounds like an idea. Yeah. I got a good feeling about that. Yeah. Well, I'm still here, so by all means. Yeah, thank you, RC Filmworks. Thank you, everyone, for showing up again. And I hope you guys have been enjoying this series. I certainly have. Great. The break, fellas. You guys have a good night. Hope to see you Friday. Ideally. Yo, peace.